So, Blue Jay fans, we're here, and I didn't expect to be here. But I got a few updates telling me some fairly decent-sized news. Let's start off with the first news, I guess. The Blue Jays do not tender Ryan Goins and Tom Koehler. Ryan Goins is now a free agent. I did not expect it. But there he goes. Now, yes, we know about Ryan Goins' defense. We know that this guy is a defensive dynamo. He can make some crazy plays. We get that. But his bat was inconsistent. There were times where his bat was unbelievable. You go back to the 2015 season where the Jays made the playoffs the first year after making all those trades. Ryan Goins changed something in his swing, and it was unbelievable. He was hitting, I think, 250 by the end of the season. He was playing unbelievable. Couldn't really get it going in 2016, and obviously this past year was kind of, again, he was up and down at times. Now, am I shocked that they didn't tender him? Yes. But we'll get to why they didn't in a second. They also don't tender Tom Koehler. Kind of shocked about that. They make the trade for Tom Koehler. I think it was at the deadline or something. And they bring him in, and he starts a game, does pretty well, then goes in the bullpen, and it was pretty darn solid out of the bullpen. Again, not sure why you don't tender him, but they don't. And you look at that, and you're like, okay, that's a bullpen hole now. Now, they got to have a plan somewhere. I don't know if it's letting the young guys come up and take the bullpen spots, our guys that we want to see grow down in the minors. I don't know. I hope not, because we still want to win, don't we? But with that being said, Koehler's gone. I mean, it's a hole, but it's not like a gaping hole that you have to fill. Now, next up, the Jays make a trade, and they acquire Aledmys Diaz, infielder from the St. Louis Cardinals, in exchange for minor league prospect J.B. Woodman. Now, J.B. Woodman used to be in the top 30 prospects for the Jays. The reason I say used to be, well, I mean, he was projected to be all right. He was in the top 30. But, I mean, he really didn't grow. I think he's now 23, 24 years old. Excuse me. This past year, he was an A-ball, and he only hit 240 at 23 years old. I mean, whatever. And Aledmys Diaz is not a guy to snub your nose at. Again, he's pretty much a Ryan Goins. It says shortstop, but he can probably play second base as well. And, his stats, he hit 259 on the season. He did have 286 at-bats in 79 games. So, again, he's going to be a guy like Ryan Goins coming off the bench, and if Tulowitzki's hurt, you got a guy to come in and help. He had 259 last year, 7 home runs, 17 doubles, 31 runs scored, 20 RBIs, and he only had 42 strikeouts in 286 at-bats. That's a pretty darn solid number. And I look at Diaz, and I'm saying, okay. And this guy's also 27 years of age. He's not a very old guy either. So you look at it, and you're kind of replacing Ryan Goins with, statistically from what I'm seeing here, a better average hitter and a little bit younger than Ryan Goins. And I mean, maybe defensively, I don't know a whole lot about him, but maybe defensively he's not as good as Ryan Goins. But I mean, really, you don't need a guy, a freak of nature like Ryan Goins at shortstop. Yes, he's a great player. I loved Ryan Goins. He was one of my favorite Jays. And it hurts to see him go just because of, he's been a Jay his entire career pretty much. We gave him that big shot, and he had an unbelievable tenure here. But what was, I understand him and Darwin Barney were a great 1-2 punch. But you want a guy to come in off the bench that can produce. And a guy that hits 259 on the season. I'm not going to complain. I understand his on-base percentage is only 290, so he didn't walk a whole lot, only 13 walks in his 286 ABs. But again, he hit 259 on the year. I'm not going to complain about that. He's a guy that's going to, like I said, he's going to be a bench guy, And we saw, obviously, this year, we used Ryan Goins and we used Darwin Barney a lot, right? I'm just searching up Diaz real quick here. we use Goins and Barney a lot. And Darwin Barney didn't have a great year. I got to say that. Darwin Barney the year before had a great season, and Ryan Goins not so much. But you look at Alemdis Diaz, I'm looking at him here. He's only played a couple years in the major leagues. In his 2016 season, he hit 300 and with a 369 on base percentage and a 259 obviously this year. He had 17 home runs and 65 RBIs in his first year. You see that there's potential there, 28 doubles. He played a full season, 111 games pretty much, 404 at-bats, and he hit 300. That was just a year ago. He had an off year this past season. I'm not saying that he's going to put up those numbers he did in 2016, but when you get a guy that not long ago hit like that, and he still hit 259 last year, and he's only 27 years old. I actually think it's a very good pickup. You know what I mean? And I understand people are going to say, oh, Shapiro and Atkins are stupid. Ryan Goins, great player. You got to look at it from a standpoint of forget Shapiro and Atkins are making these moves. Everyone loves Alex Anthopoulos, so imagine it's him doing this move. What do you think? All right, you lost Ryan Goins. It sucks. But you get Alemdis Diaz to replace him. And I think it's a solid replacement. From what I'm seeing statistically, again, I don't know a whole lot about him. I'm going to look more into him as the days go on, and I'm going to look up highlights of him and all that kind of stuff. But from what I've seen, and from what I'm looking at here, he's had a pretty darn good couple seasons. He's now going to come to the American League East. Again, it might be tougher because he's coming to the American League East. So you look at that and you say he might have a down season. But from what we've seen, 300 and a 259 batting average in his 2 seasons. And you got to remember, that first year, 2016, he played 111 games. This year, he only played 79. Now, whether that due to injury or whether that due to not playing as well as they know he can. I think this is a low-risk, high-reward move. I mean, we saw what Richard Urania did for the Jays as well this year. Again, he could be a call-up if Diaz doesn't pan out the way you want him to. Yes, it sucks Ryan Goins is gone. It hurts me to my heart because we know what Ryan Goins was. But just because we liked him as a person and as a defensive player doesn't mean it's a bad move. Right? I mean, I understand a lot of people are going to say, well, Ryan Goins, he was unbelievable. Yes. His glove was something you can't replace. But his bat, from what I'm seeing here, statistically, we found better. That's my opinion. Now, whether that happens, and this could also sure up if Devin Travis isn't ready for the season, Diaz could be your guy at second base. That's another option they could have for him. So you look at it from that standpoint, he's going to get regular playing time. He might start really doing well if Tulowitzki stays healthy at shortstop. We could have a really good 1-2 punch. But you never really know. We thought Kendrys Morales was going to have a ridiculous good year. Then we saw him play, and we're like, oh boy, he's got really big holes in his swing. So, you never know what you're going to see, but statistically, it's not a bad move at all for the Jays. They sure up the middle infield. They got a solid piece of the middle infield in Alemdis Diaz for a guy that is probably never going to make the big leagues in J.B. Woodman, and if so, he's going to be a bench guy at best. So, there's no risk there. The loss of Ryan Goins, yeah, emotionally it's going to hurt us for a bit. And Tom Kohler, still kind of scratching my head about that, but it happened. Let me know what you guys think. I want to hear your guys' opinions on this, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If this thing will focus, that has not done that in a little while. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this video, and you guys like the move, because I like the move of getting Diaz. The Ryan Goins, I still got to get used to it, but getting Alemdis Diaz, I like the move. Let me know what you guys think, all right? And we'll talk. Comment down below what you guys think of the move. What do you think of Ryan Goins getting the boot? I know. Tom Kohler, what do you guys think of that move? And Alemdis Diaz for J.B. Woodman. What do you guys think? All right, so we'll talk to you guys very shortly. Raptors edition as they're finishing up their game against Indiana. I got to go run and watch the end of that game. And hopefully they can pull out that win. And we'll talk to you guys Leafs edition tomorrow night as they're in Vancouver taking on the Canucks. Looking for the Canadian West Coast sweep. That would be gorgeous. By the way, thanks, Chris Russell. Talk to you guys then.